Not the first one, actually. John the Baptist he also understood what is the role of Jesus. But over here in the synagogue, imagine people are sitting all over. Jesus is reading, from the scrolls. It wasn't a book like we have today. It wasn't the same Bible, with papers like that. There were scrolls, and they would open the scroll and sit in front of the people. And the people are here. They enjoy actually to listen to what he has to say. They also hear new message, I would say. Tomorrow in the Beatitudes, of course, we're going to talk about that also. But there is a new guy in the neighborhood, if you can call it that way. And suddenly, he's also approaching the poor ones, the simple ones, those who normally no one cares about them. And he's here in that synagogue, and actually he released this guy from the demon in front of everyone. So everyone here in Capernaum can also see and witness the power and, I would say, the authority of Jesus. He wasn't just talking. Many times today we talk. He was performing things.
No authority.
He supported his power. When he said, I forgive you, they were shocked. I mean, the Pharisees normally, I think that this is one of the things that made them mostly angry. Much more than anything he did. When he said, but I forgive you, who dare you, you dare to say that you forgive? Who you think you are? Basically, they understood that if he is saying that he's forgiving, he's actually pointing himself as God. Of course, only God can forgive. And if he is saying, I can forgive you, of course, he doesn't have to say, because I'm God. The moment he says, I forgive you, people understand, no, now he's pointing himself as God. And he do things, and he prove his power and authority by not only saying, but doing also. Take your bed and go, right? Take your bed and walk. I have the authority to say, I have the authority to heal, and I have also the authority to forgive. Now, this synagogue over here, it's not the same synagogue that was here in the time of Jesus. This is from the 5th century.
Okay.
Probably, and there is not proof till now, but it is probably built at the same place that the synagogue from the time of Jesus used to stand, down below.
Yeah.
They wouldn't change the places, You have a village all over. You would have a synagogue in the time of Jesus. It was probably destroyed for some reason, maybe an earthquake that was here in the 4th century, or any kind of war, even though Capernaum was not part of the Great Revolt. But they decided to build a new one. As I told you, you can see the color of the stones all over, which is dark. And suddenly this synagogue is what kind of stone? Limestone. It means that the people here in the 5th century, which is already a few hundred years after the time of Jesus, had to put a lot of money to invest in that synagogue. Why? Because you don't dig the stones here outside. You need to go to the mountains to pay people to bring it and then to work with it. You can also see later on outside all over, all these decorations there on the walls. These are parts of things that were here in that synagogue. It was considered to be a very, very rich synagogue in that matter. So Jesus is here. Now, the concept of a synagogue, maybe they explained you in Nazareth or not, I don't know. There is a great difference before the destruction of the temple and after the destruction of the temple. Okay? For the Jewish people, there used to be synagogues while the temple was standing. Okay? They found many synagogues around the land while the temple is standing. Okay? If you go to visit Masada, there is a synagogue there. If you go to visit Gamla, which is in the mountains in the Golan Heights, there used to be a synagogue before the destruction of the temple. But the way people relate to the synagogue was, okay, we go to meet each other. We're going to read from the scrolls, right? Jesus was in synagogues in Nazareth and in Capernaum before the destruction of the temple. We're going to read, we're going to study the Bible, we're going to talk to each other, meet each other, discuss about stuff. And this is it. And where is the holy place? Where is the place that we actually go and meet God and pray to God and sacrifice and ask for forgiveness? Where is it? Jerusalem, the temple.
Yeah.
So also the synagogue were facing Jerusalem always. It doesn't matter where you build it, it faces Jerusalem. Now, then in 70 AD, suddenly there is no more temple. Now for us, it's only an historical fact. But imagine the people themselves. Imagine you as a Jew, okay, a Jewish person. You know that you have your God, the God of Israel, and your God tells you to build his home, right, his house in Jerusalem, and his presence is there, and when you want to get a forgiveness, it's there. And now suddenly, there is nothing. this mighty God is not there anymore. His building is not there anymore. There is no forgiveness anymore. There is no way to communicate with him anymore. Everything is gone. You can understand what a great confusion it is for the people. They don't know what to do. You know? And I would say that in that moment, Judaism starts to get all its wise ideas in order to solve that problem. Okay, so instead of sacrificing, we will pray and it's enough for God. We don't need to sacrifice anymore because we can't. There is no temple. So let's pray. Okay, we just pray and that's it. It's enough. You know, the Jewish people, they believe that according the prayers replace the sacrifices in the temple. Of course, there is no temple anymore. So they help to build a whole new theory or way of living, how to practice Judaism when there is no temple in the center, because the temple was the center. And then they said, okay, instead of the temple, and they were not even allowed to go to Jerusalem and enter Jerusalem in the Roman time when the Romans are building their city. So the synagogues are becoming the holy places. Okay, and in Hebrew there is even a term that talks about the synagogue as the, I would say, little temple. Okay, and this is after the destruction. So from that moment, when the people are coming to the synagogues, for them this is the place that now, I would say in a way, God is dwelling. He's not really there, but this is the place where I'm going to communicate and connect to God. By prayer, by studying, but by feeling that this is the holy site in a way. Okay? So there is a great difference to the attitude of the people to the synagogues before and after the destruction, just that you will understand. Let's go and stand over there.